Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. A WWE personality has predicted that a top star could first align with Roman Reigns in his feud with the new bloodline only to betray him later. Sam Roberts believes Kevin Owens could turn heel on the original tribal chief and his allies. Reigns made his highly anticipated return to WWE during this week's SmackDown season premiere on the USA Network. He showed up while Solo Sikoa and his bloodline stablemates were assaulting Cody Rhodes after he successfully defended his undisputed championship against Sikoa in a steel cage match. Later in the night, it was confirmed that Roman Reigns and Cody would team up to take on Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa at Bad Blood 2024 next month. On the latest episode of his Not Sam Wrestling podcast, Sam Roberts predicted that the original tribal chief could soon assemble a team to take on the Bloodline in a War Games match at Survivor Series 2024. However, the Raw Talk host feels there was a chance that Kevin Owens could join Reigns, only for him to turn heel during the premium live event and allow Sikoa and his cohorts to win. Maybe the new Bloodline is able to win. Maybe the new bloodline beats one of the babyfaces and it turns that babyface into a heel. Maybe Kevin Owens loses to the new bloodline and that's enough for Kevin Owens to turn on the other babyfaces on the team, said Sam Roberts. 26:36, 26:51. What else is scheduled for WWE Bad Blood 2024? While Roman Reigns' first match since WrestleMania 40 will most likely headline Bad Blood, the event has a stacked card, making it one of the most anticipated shows of the year. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will have a decisive encounter at the premium live event, where they meet in a Hell in a Cell match. Apart from that, Rhea Ripley will get another shot at Liv Morgan's Women's World Championship after she pinned her at Bash in Berlin 2024. Plus, Damian Priest could finally get his chance to lay his hands on his former Judgment Day stablemate Finn Balor after the latter betrayed him at SummerSlam 2024. Lastly, Nia Jax puts her WWE Women's title on the line. Her opponent will be determined in a tag team match on SmackDown next week with interesting implications, where Naomi and Bayley team up to face Jax and Tiffany Stratton. If Naomi and Bayley come on top, the one who secures the pinfall will get to challenge Jax. However, if the role model and the Glow lose, the one getting pinned would be banished from WWE SmackDown for good. The roar of the crowd was deafening as the lights dimmed and the familiar theme music of Roman Reigns filled the arena. After months of speculation and anticipation, the tribal chief had finally returned to WWE SmackDown, ready to reclaim his throne. The atmosphere was electric, with fans chanting his name and waving their signs high. But little did they know, a storm was brewing behind the scenes, one that would shake the foundation of the bloodline and change the course of WWE history. Roman Reigns had been on a hiatus, nursing injuries and taking time to recalibrate after an exhausting run as the head of the bloodline. His return was marked with grandiosity, a spectacle befitting the champion he was. He stood in the center of the ring, soaking in the adulation of the fans, when the unthinkable happened. An unexpected figure emerged from the backstage area, his face obscured by shadows but unmistakably familiar. The crowd's cheers turned to confusion as the figure stepped into the spotlight. It was none other than former WWE champion, Randy Orton, whose return had been long rumored but never confirmed. Orton's last appearance had been marked by injury and subsequent silence. Now, he was back and looking more menacing than ever. His actions were not just a random act of aggression but a calculated move to position himself at the top of the hierarchy once again. The implications of Orton's actions were profound. The bloodline, which had been an unstoppable force with Roman Reigns at its helm, now faced a significant fracture. Orton's attack on Reigns was not just a personal vendetta but a strategic move to dismantle the faction from within. The bloodline had been a dominant force in WWE, and Reigns had been its cornerstone. With Orton's betrayal, the very foundation of the faction was under threat. In the weeks following the attack, Orton made it clear that his motives were not just about personal glory but about proving a point. He took to social media and in-ring promos to taunt Reigns and the Bloodline, claiming that they were weak and that his actions were a necessary correction. Orton painted himself as the savior of WWE, someone who was willing to disrupt the status quo to bring about a new era. Reigns, on the other hand, was forced to regroup. The once indomitable champion was now facing not just physical injuries, but also a psychological blow. The attack had come from someone he had once considered an ally. The betrayal cut deep, and Reigns was left to pick up the pieces of his fractured faction while dealing with the fallout from Orton's actions. The tension between Orton and Reigns escalated into a series of high-stakes matches, each more brutal than the last. Their rivalry was not just a clash of physical prowess, but also a battle of wits and strategy. Orton's experience and cunning were pitted against Reigns' raw power and resilience. The matches were intense, with each man pushing the other to their limits. As the feud continued, Orton's actions began to resonate with a new generation of fans. His return and subsequent betrayal had captured the imagination of the WWE universe, and he quickly became one of the most talked-about figures in professional wrestling. His charisma and in-ring ability combined with his strategic mind made him a formidable opponent and a fan favorite. The climax of their feud came at a major pay-per-view event, where Orton and Reigns faced off in a no-holds-barred match. The match was a brutal spectacle, with both men using every weapon at their disposal. The intensity of the battle reflected the depth of their animosity. In the end, it was Orton who emerged victorious, his hand raised in triumph as he stood over the fallen Reigns. But even as Orton celebrated his victory, the impact of his betrayal continued to ripple through WWE. The Bloodline, once a dominant faction, was left in disarray. Reigns' leadership had been questioned, and the faction struggled to maintain its grip on power. The landscape of WWE had shifted, and the fallout from Orton's actions was far from over. In the aftermath of the feud, Orton continued to assert his dominance, positioning himself as a top contender for the WWE Championship. His actions had set a new standard for betrayal and intrigue in professional wrestling, and his legacy would forever be marked by his audacious return and the shocking twist that had redefined his career. Roman Reigns, on the other hand, was left to rebuild. His return to WWE had been marred by betrayal, but he remained determined to reclaim his position at the top. The road ahead was challenging, but Reigns' resilience and determination were undiminished. The story of Orton's betrayal was a reminder of the unpredictable nature of professional wrestling, where alliances could shift in an instant and every champion was only as strong as their last victory.